104 large wildfires are burning uncontained across the United States this morning. 17 miles southwest of Inchelium, Washington, 240 United States Army soldiers are cutting fire line by hand. They are infantry, 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment, 7th Infantry Division, based out of Joint Base Lewis McChord. In the middle of July, Forest Service instructors stood them out on the grass at Lewis McChord and taught them how to scrape a line with hand tools, how to hold that line once it is cut, and how to climb inside an emergency fire shelter if the fire gets there before they do. This week, they are on the Modrite Fire in Northeast Washington, working under experienced civilian crew bosses on a fire that has already taken 88 structures. Those soldiers are not out there because the Army wanted the practice. They are out there because the National Interagency Fire Center asked the Department of Defense for them. And the Fire Center does not ask for infantry until it has run out of firefighters. I am Walter. There are no sponsors on this channel, no brand deals, and nobody paying me for a mention. What I tell you comes from the official reporting and nowhere else. Here is the thing I want you to take out of the next 12 minutes, because it is not what most fire coverage leads with. The story in the second week of August is not the flames, it is the arithmetic. This country is not short on water or short on tactics, it is short on people. And when a nation runs out of firefighters this early, with 2.5 months of season still ahead of it, the risk quietly moves off the fire line and onto somebody who is not on it. It moves onto you, standing in your own driveway, watching a column of smoke come up over the ridge, wondering why nobody has arrived yet. So let me explain how the system is supposed to work, because you are going to hear the phrase Preparedness Level 5 a great deal this month, and it is almost always misread. Preparedness levels run from 1 to 5. They are set by the National Multi-Agency Coordinating Group at the Fire Center in Boise, Idaho. And here is the part people miss. They do not measure how bad the fires are. They measure how much of the country's firefighting capacity has already been spent. Level 5, the top of the scale, means the large majority of the nation's Type 1 and Type 2 crews and incident management teams are already committed somewhere. At that point, the system stops responding to everything and starts ranking. Fires get prioritized against each other. The ones threatening the most lives and the most homes get the crews. The ones that do not get whatever is left over. Some days, what is left over is nothing at all. The country moved to Level 5 on the 18th of July. 3.5 weeks later, we are still sitting there. And when you hit that ceiling, there is a ladder you climb. First, you pull crews from the quiet corners of the country. Then you call other nations under resource-sharing agreements that have been in place for decades. Then, when that still is not enough, you ask the military for soldiers. This season, we have climbed all 3 rungs. Those 240 men outside Inchelium are what the top of that ladder looks like. Now, where things actually stand. These figures come from the National Situation Report published yesterday morning at 7:30 Mountain Time, which is the most recent one available as I record this. That figure I opened with, 104 uncontained large fires, 12 of those were brand new yesterday alone. 29,939 personnel are assigned nationally, alongside 604 crews, 1,838 engines, and 188 helicopters. 26 complex incident management teams are committed. 2 regions are carrying their own Preparedness Level 5 independent of the national one, the Northwest and the Great Basin. Year to date, 46,305 fires have burned 6,428,000 acres. That is 126% of the 10-year average for the number of fires, and 156% of the 10-year average for acres burned. Through the same window last year, the country had burned roughly 3.6 million acres. We are close to double that, and the season does not typically peak until later this month. The largest single fire in the country is the Big Grass Fire on the Bureau of Land Management's Vail District, 25 miles southwest of Jordan Valley, Oregon. It stands at 553,972 acres, about 866 square miles, or 224,000 hectares, at 35% contained, and it still picked up nearly 13,000 acres in the last reporting period. The costliest incident on the national board is the Aspen Acres fire, 20 miles southwest of Pueblo, Colorado, at 915 structures destroyed and $99.4 million spent. But the fires I would watch this week are the ones with a zero next to them, because a zero means crews have not yet gotten a line around any part of it. The Wrights Spring fire, 2 miles west of Sprague River, Oregon, gained 12,799 acres in a single day and sits at 0% contained, with crowning and spotting reported. The Little Giant Fire, 30 miles northwest of Leavenworth, Washington, has reached 116,956 acres at 2%. The Sinlahekin Fire, 1 mile west of Tonasket, is showing extreme fire behavior at 147,715 acres. The Great Basin is doing the same thing. The Rocky Canyon Fire, 6 miles southwest of Hennifer, Utah, put on 9,229 acres in a day at 0% contained, with wind-driven runs and homes under evacuation. The Weiser Knoll Fire, 13 miles southeast of Lander, Wyoming, gained 10,350 acres in a day, also at 0. Now, one point of honesty about the numbers, because I would rather you hear it from me than catch it later. There is a discrepancy in the reporting on international help. The Fire Center's own news release says a second wave of up to 250 additional fire management specialists from Australia and New Zealand was scheduled to arrive on the 11th and 12th of August, with orientation in Boise on the 13th and 14th. But yesterday's situation report still lists only the 15-person incident management team and 59 fireline personnel from the first contingent of 74. The likeliest explanation is that the situation report counts people already assigned to fires, while the release counts people arriving in the country. I cannot confirm that, so I am telling you both numbers and where each one comes from, rather than picking the more dramatic one. Where is this headed? Two things, and the second one is going to catch people off guard. In the West, Predictive Services has continued dry and breezy conditions with locally elevated risk in Northeast California, southern Idaho, and Wyoming. Scattered, mixed, wet, and dry thunderstorms are expected from the eastern Sierra across to the west slope, becoming wetter as you move east. And I want to be precise about what a dry thunderstorm is, because it is the mechanism behind an enormous share of this season. It is a storm that produces lightning, but whose rain evaporates before it reaches the ground. You get the ignition source with none of the water. That is how the Northwest picked up 2 major fire outbreaks in July. The second thing is the shift. The heat that has been sitting over the interior West is easing, but a ridge is strengthening over the middle of the country. Widespread elevated fire conditions are developing across the central and southern plains on breezy southerly winds gusting near 30 miles per hour. That is about 48 kilometers per hour, with maximum temperatures reaching 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 41 to 43 Celsius, from Nebraska down into North Texas. And the 4-month national outlook now shows above normal fire potential developing across large parts of Oklahoma and Texas into southern and eastern Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and southwestern Alabama, driven by flash drought curing the grass out. If you live in those states, Understand what that means for you. The national system is already at capacity 2,000 miles away. Grass fires move faster than timber fires, and they arrive with less warning. And the crews are not sitting idle waiting for you. So here is what I would do this week, wherever you are. Look up your evacuation zone today while nothing is burning. Not the county, the zone. If your county uses a 3-level system, know which level means go. Sign up for your county's emergency alert system tonight. Every western county and most plains counties run one, and it is free. Put a NOAA weather radio somewhere you will hear it, because cell networks fail early in fire events and radio does not. And plan on leaving earlier than you think you need to. That is the practical consequence of a system at level 5. In a normal year, you might get an engine sitting at the end of your road. This year, that engine may already be committed to a higher priority incident 3 counties over. Your evacuation order is not a suggestion to start packing. It is the last piece of information you are guaranteed to get. Your local National Weather Service office, your county emergency management agency, and NOAA weather radio are your alerting authorities, not me and not any channel. I am telling you what the official reporting says. They are the ones who will tell you to go. Which brings me back to those soldiers outside in Chelium. 4 weeks ago, they were learning what a fire shelter is. Today, they are holding line on a fire in Washington because there was no one else left to send. That is not a story about the Army. That is the clearest possible measurement of how thin this country is stretched right now, and it should shape how you plan your own week. This is a developing situation across a dozen states, and the numbers move daily, so I will be back with an update as conditions change. If this was useful to you, subscribe and turn notifications on so you get the next one. My thanks to every crew on the line right now, the international personnel who flew halfway around the world to help, and to the communities living under evacuation orders tonight. Don't wait for someone to come and get you. Be the one who already left.